G'day! In today's video I'm running the emulator PCSX2 version 1.6 on my Zeus VivoBook Flip 14 running a 4700U with a Vega 7 graphics. So right now I'm just going to test out a few different games. So to begin with, I'll start with one of my favourite on the PS2 era, Tony Hawk 4. And also before I do that, I'll quickly show you what graphics settings I've got. So everything's left stock, except internal resolution set to 3 times. So 1080p. Being that this is also a 1080p resolution screen, not that it's really going to change too much. Let's go resume and play a bit of the first level. So right now I've got the DualShock 4 connected up via USB, and that's running via DS4 Win. That's how it's connected. So a little bit of slowdowns here and there. Still playable. A few graphical glitches and stuff every now and then, but mostly we should have a playable game from here. I'll potentially turn the internal resolution down, possibly to 2 times as opposed to 3 times, to give it smoother gameplay. But I'd probably classify this as a playable game. And strangely, got TimeSplitters 2 loaded up here. Strangely, the menu system absolutely kills the frame rate by about half. But actually in-game itself is fairly responsive. It's actually surprising me. This is also running on 3 times internal resolution. Exclude my non-existent skill of this game. Been some years since I've last loaded this up. But strangely, this is just in arcade mode right now. But I'll give single player a quick load up. But this is promising. Granted, this is a smaller level compared to the full scale of a single player mission, but I'll just jump to that. So frame rate or emulation speed is running at about 90% at the moment. So it's not too bad. It's actually performing slightly better than I thought it was going to. Especially going by the complexity of the level. Now we're dropping down to about 60-70% at the moment. Right now 65%, that's a bit closer to what I was expecting. But this is still at 3 times internal resolution. So assumably a bit of a drop in resolution and this would be playable. So right now it's running about 80-90%. And I'll be suspecting that once we get into the enclosed area here, it will go back up to 100. There we go, back up to 100 right now. So potentially a replayable game if you turn down the graphical settings or if you're happy to accept the slowdown. So right now I've just got Tekken 5 loaded up. As you can see, I'm getting some weird vertical lines going, which is a bit odd. Haven't experienced this on any other game just yet. Granted, the library that I've gone through is quite small. But this is running perfectly fine at 100%. If I can remember Yoshimitsu's backstab move. Oh. Yeah, that will do. So yeah, some graphical issues on this one. And we'll just load up an arcade mode of just reading this off the windowed mode details up in the top left hand corner. So right now it's dropping down to about 35%. Let's see what happens when we get in game. As you can see, there's no sky loading for some reason. It's so far not looking promising. Nah, no good at all. So we're failing to render the sky. We're running at about 1/3 of the original speed. Not looking good for this one. Granted, I do find that we're probably well overdue for another Burnout game. Nah, no good. Running at 64% emulation speed during that crash. Nah, unplayable. Granted, this is also at 3 times internal resolution, so dropping that may help you. So right here I've got some Colin McRae Rally 4 loaded up. As you can see, it's producing some of the same lines that Tekken was also producing, which is rather odd. Almost makes me think my graphics card's dying, but anyway. Right now we're running at about 65% emulation, which is almost like a cheat mode for this game. This is running about 65–70% emulation speed. That's with the 3 times internal resolution. So unless you drop down the internal resolution back to the default PS2 level, you're probably not going to get this game very playable on the 4700U.